We are at SP Engineering today to retune the NSX. We changed a couple of things like the intake manifold. We also removed the blow-off valve, and we wanted to check a few things in the tune, just make sure it's okay. We haven't had it on the dyno since I think basically right before Super Lap Battle or GTA Finals last year. Kristian wanted to touch it up, make sure everything was going to be okay, and then start to develop the high boost map. At tracks like Road Atlanta and Koyorad, we found that we kind of need it and it would help a bit. So we never really tuned it, I would say, extensively. We knew it was there if we needed it, but we wanted to make sure it was going to be reliable and everything was going to be okay. And the biggest thing was just that the manifold is a huge change, and probably the biggest one we've made so far in terms of something that would change the tune significantly. So rather than, you know, do a few pulls on the street and then test it and retune it on the track, we want to get it on the dyno, re-baseline it, and then go from there. I know blue and midnight purple are supposed to be the colors for R34s, but I'm a red or dead kind of guy, so this thing is awesome. No Bayside blue for me. So an interesting challenge that you face kind of only on the dyno is that the fuel gets really hot, so we are trying to keep the fuel cool by putting the fans on the fuel tank rather than on the radiator. The Koyorad cooling system cools so well that we have to idle it for so long that the fuel gets hot. So rather than put fans at the radiator, which we really don't need because of the pulls we're doing, we're putting it on the fuel tank. So get the fuel cooled off and then start doing some pulls. So worst conditions on low boost, same 24 pounds. So we are not at SP Engineering. We are back at the shop since my batteries died. We were on the dyno for quite a while, and the reason for that was primarily because of that intake manifold, and we removed the blow-off valve, and we hadn't really had much of a chance. And when I say we, I mean Kristian. If you don't know, Kristian Wong from Battlecraft, and also he was the tuner at SP Engineering for a long time. He wanted to really take a closer look at the map. We hadn't had it on the dyno for almost a year and a half, and he wanted to basically go through everything, make sure that this is reliable, and also ensure that the drivability in the mid-range of the map is exactly where we want it. He already probably had about 20 hours of dyno time in the car, or should I say dyno time and tuning on a couple of different occasions on the street or at the track. He is incredibly thorough, which is a great trait for your tuner to have. If you're going to a tune and your tuner is doing 3 or 4 full throttle pulls and you're done within about an hour, 2 hours, I would definitely question that, especially if you're using the car for road racing and with a turbo application. Kristian wanted to look at everything on boost, off boost, partial throttle, tip in, to ensure that the car is as drivable as possible. And with a car like this, where you're very traction limited, it is crucial because when you're coming out of a corner, if the car is kind of rough or doesn't exit out of the corner as smoothly as possible, you lose time. So it was great to have him go through and spend that much time. I'm incredibly fortunate that he is the amazing tuner that he is, and that he spends the time that he does to do all this stuff. So we have this wrapped up. We're going to get the LSM3. We're going to test that, make sure the Samsonas Sequential is working, doing what it needs to. And then we are going to prepare both cars for testing and get ready for finals with hopefully a few weeks to spare, which is a luxury that we haven't had since either cars were started. But this year things are looking pretty solid. So we're going to go ahead and get all that sorted and get out there. We are here at JMP Autowerkz with the LSM3, the Motorsport Hardware M3. JMP is a BMW shop out in the valley that does pretty much all BMWs. Some really cool cars, and they have done pretty much all the work on the Motorsport Hardware M3. The latest thing that we're here for is the Samsonas Sequential. The stock T56 transmission left a lot to be desired, and we can see it in the data where either we would hold 4th gear instead of going to 5th in order to avoid a potential misshift, and the gearing itself just wasn't that great. So for 2020, one of the biggest changes we made to the car was that Samsonas Sequential. It's in, Jerick got it installed, made sure everything was good, and kind of tested it a little bit, but we're here today on the dyno to make sure that everything is going to work as we expect. There aren't any clearance issues, and make sure it gets into and out of every gear as it should. So we're gonna do some pulls on the dyno, make sure everything's all right, and then go from there. Oops. This thing's rad. It's so good.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's so smooth in the engagement.
Yeah.
Like, I was kind of surprised at how easily it was just like banging down through the gears.
You were still clutching, right?
Yeah.
On the upshift?
Upshift and downshift. Yeah, I can definitely. I want to take it easy on the car until we get it out on track and do like a few laps like with the clutch.
Yeah, this one you have to really break it in before you push it. I actually need to put a oil temperature sensor for the tranny.
That's probably a good idea.
Yeah, and connect it to the data so we can monitor it. Yeah.
That's actually a great idea. Do we just pull, so for all of the additional sensors, are you guys running separate aim sensors or are they all going through the ECU?
Whatever the ECU picks up, and then everything, like the oil pressure, everything is aim sensor, Yeah, because this one doesn't have a lot of data, this ECU.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Yeah, the only thing you get is basically coolant temp. That's it, yeah.
And this thing's gonna be such a game changer on track. That old transmission is such a piece of shit.
That's it. Especially for what we had before.
Yeah,
huge,
I was gonna say that old transmission sucks. It's crazy that this thing could also be an endurance car.
Oh yeah.
It's so reliable. That
it's so reliable. I mean. Try it without clutching.
Without it?
Yeah.
Can I look, like, can I actually drive the car hard on the car?
Oh yeah, you can, yeah, you can. Maybe just go up to like, just watch the speed on the dyno. Maybe don't go over 100, around 140.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
whatever gear it
I'll
takes
probably
you.
only do like up to, I'll probably get into like second, and then from there I'll do like, so I can do full throttle pulse from second.
Yeah. Yeah, you can do it. Yeah, good. Yeah, it's just the first gear takeoff is kind of.
That's why I was like, oh, okay. After that, it's okay?
Yeah.
Cool R8 over here. Another LS powered car. This is Jerick's M3. We always tell because of the multicolored front end. James's beautiful E92 M3. Fancy carbon door panels. And of course the M3, which if you haven't seen much of this car before, it's a pretty well-built car. Full cage from Proto Machine. Of course this fancy guy that we just added in here testing. It's also dry sump, oil tanks in the car. It's a little bit apart since we're taking care of some stuff. LS. Fancy duct from Proto Machine. Everything is ducted in and out. Let's see if we can get a better shot of it. So, total control of the air going into and out of it. Really nice setup, and then obviously we're running one of the RS Future wings on there. But really cool setup and really awesome car. Probably one of my favorite cars to drive. It is an absolute monster. You basically wheel spin at almost any speed with the torque that it has. And I'm looking forward to getting back out there with the new transmission and seeing what it can do. I'm definitely expecting to pick up a little bit of time, and hopefully this time we'll be on the top step of the podium at GTA Finals this year.